Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Ayakala. And I have just a short, it's about an 8-minute video that I want to play, and I'm not going to play all 8 minutes of it. Then I'll have a few verses that I'm going to bring out, and that'll be the end of this lesson, because shouldn't be very long. But this is just showing one of the devices that scientists, I guess, have invented, that they probably want to eventually put on the battlefield, or probably even closer than that. More than that, they probably want to be able to use this in their efforts when they go door to door, when they're trying to gain access into people's residential areas. So I wouldn't put it past them, because they got so many plans, so many schemes that they have, so many devices that they want to bring out. So, and I'm going to bring this, use this video under the 1976 Copyright Infringement Act, Fair Use Act. This channel is not monetized, so this for edification purposes. Not looking to make any money using this video. So again, under fair use is why I'm using this video, and I'm just going to play just a little bit of it, and then I'll probably just jump in and bring out a few verses.
In a world full of surprises, it sometimes happens that we witness the unexpected, a strange encounter, an inexplicable tension, and an instinct impossible to predict. In this video, we discover an unusual scene: real animals facing an extraordinary adversary, intriguing behaviors, silent provocation, and moments that raise many questions. Follow us to discover what truly happened, what was the reaction, and who finally made the ultimate decision. What you are about to see now might truly shock you. When this robot encroached upon the cheetah's territory, the reaction was immediate. One of them lunged with all its strength, but in the final moments, the scene completely flipped. With a single swift movement, the robot delivered a kick while retreating, totally disorienting the cheetah. The predator stopped dead, trying to collect its thoughts. The robot began performing repeated intimidating movements, advancing and retreating, turning the predator into an object of derision. A second cheetah charged, but it too was intimidated and backed away. The robot advanced with a confident stride, and this strange confrontation ended with a result no one expected.
See this? This is a 400-ounce bar of solid gold. Back in the 20s, this could buy you a decent house. And
advanced with a confident stride, and this strange confrontation ended with a result no one expected: the victory of the robot. When this robot began to slowly approach the dog, clear signs of fear emerged. The dog's movements were hesitant, its gaze filled with anxiety. As the robot stopped right next to him, the animal's behavior suddenly shifted. He entered a state of pure panic.
See, and like I said, this is probably one of their intended uses for this robot they created, because as you see, they're really interested to see how it's going to react with domesticated animals. So they're going approaching this dog, and just to see how this dog is going to react. First, you saw they initially had it with more animals that you see typically in the wild, but now you see they're using this on domesticated animals. So don't put it past the Esau, so-called white man, to incorporate this into his army as they go patrolling door to door in an effort to gain access to your residential areas. The first verse that I want to bring out is Psalms chapter 37 and verse 7, and it says, "Rest in the Lord Yahweh, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." And this, you can see, this indeed is a wicked device, because these animals are perplexed. They're not really sure what they're seeing. They're seeing something that's walking on all four legs, but doesn't even have a head. So they don't know what to think of this thing. All right, and it doesn't back down, doesn't turn away from them. It just approaches them, you know, which is they're not used to that, you know. And I want to look at this word devices here, just to get a definition. And I'm looking in the blue letter. And it is H4209. And I'm not going to put out a pronunciation of it because we know a lot of these words are in Yiddish, so they're not being pronounced correctly. It's a lucky for me doing that in the past. You know, so in the future I will not, Lord willing, I won't give any pronunciations on this unless I'm able to give you the Paleo Hebrew pronunciation. And under the biblical usage here for devices, it says purpose, discretion, device, or plot for purpose or discretion. It says devices, and in parentheses it says evil. I'm gonna even look a little bit deeper. See here, in the root of the word, it says to have a thought or devise a plan to consider a purpose, to plot of evil intent. All right, so that's what Esau and the use of his devices for. He sits up and dreams up and thinks up these different things that he can invent, whether they be for purposes of putting on a battlefield eventually, or being just used in residential areas. All right, so I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play.
Performing strange and unusual movements, as if he had lost all capacity to react normally. No noise, no contact, yet the reaction was intense. What is the true reason for this strange reaction? Share your thoughts.
And see, Esau does this thing. He brings about these different inventions, but not only that, he uses he's got ways of manipulation, you know, through his use of his magic, you know, the use of magicians and sorcery. And when you go into sorceries, that's like pharmakia. That's using different drugs that can be purchased in pharmacies, you know, and they go about getting you addicted to their pharmaceutical products. All right, and like I said, it's this magician. You know, they use their magicians, their magic, their witchcraft, in order to bring about and bring on the use of these different inventions that they have. I'm going to go into Job. Job chapter 21. I'm going to drop down to verse 27, and it says, "Behold, I know your thoughts, and the devices which ye wrongfully imagined against me." And see, they even some of these things that they create using their magician magic, and with these things that they invent, they even have intentions of trying to turn them and use them on the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, who actually put the very thought in their head to be able to invent these things, to be able to come up with these devices that they make. So they take an idea that was put into their head by the Lord, and they want to try to use it against the Lord. All right, but they don't realize that the Lord is the one who even allowing them to bring these things out, because it's going to be turned and used against them eventually anyway. All right, I'm going to go, just speaking of the magicians, I'm going to go to Exodus. Go to chapter 7. So this is Exodus chapter 7, verse 10. It says, "And Moses and Aaron went unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent." All right, so the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron that they go in and to Pharaoh and show them this, that he had allowed them to do, that they took their staffs and threw their staffs down. Their staffs turned into a serpent right before Pharaoh's eyes. Verse 11 says, "Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers." See, now he called his wicked wise men, his wicked sorcerers in. All right. It says, "Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments." So through enchantments and through the different rituals that they conjure up, they were able to form the exact same thing that Aaron and that Moses and Aaron had been commanded by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to go in and do. All right. So they don't, like I said, they don't realize that the Lord allows them to be able to do these things. All right. Then through their wickedness and the use of their magic, they try to turn these things and use them against the Lord. All right, I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play.
Despite the robotic dog's attempts to camouflage and disguise itself, it could not escape the attack of this persistent dog. I have watched this video several times, and each time a new thought crosses my mind. If one of these animals performed these same movements in front of a lion, the end might have come in just a few seconds. But what we see here is entirely different. This robot destabilized 2 lions at once, plunging them into a state of total confusion. Has technology reached a level capable of unsettling even the kings of the jungle? Are we at the dawn of a new reality where technology dominates even the heart of nature? Imagine a moment of completely unexpected confrontation. A small bear suddenly finds itself face to face with a dog-shaped robot. From the start, it was clear this encounter would not be friendly. The robot's abrupt movements quickly triggered the bear's anger. It paused, observing with cautious eyes. Then it delivered repeated strikes to show who is the master of this place. With every new movement, the tension escalated. It was no longer curiosity. It was a genuine clash. The bear lost control, dismantling the robot without hesitation. Imagine if the entire world were filled with robots.
You see that bear? See, they designed these things with a specific intention of going in to find out how the different animals are going to react to these things that they conjure up, these devices that they have. All right, but see, that bear was attacking it, and it sounds as if he actually probably even destroyed this particular device right here. All right, through the use of their technology, they're just seeing what they can, what the boundaries are, what the limitations are on what they've conjured up, and then they go back and they add more, and they create another level. You know, they go on and create another generation of these things until they get the desired product that they want. All right, but I'm going to go into 2 Thessalonians, because see, now we're aware of what's going on. We're aware of what their intentions are, because they like I said, eventually they want to put these things on the battlefield. All right. I mean, you can see different instances right now, even right now, with the U.S. being involved with Iran. You know, they're reluctant to go and to put troops on the ground, because they know that if they go ahead and try to match up with ground troops with Iran, that there ain't no way that they could match up with them. and especially in their homeland and on their terrain and in the different environments that they have to deal with. They know that they are no match. All right. So this is one reason why they invent these different devices, because eventually that's what they want to do. They want to put all kind of different robots and put them on the battlefield, something that they could just conjure up and something that's expendable, even though they don't give a shit about putting an actual human into these conditions, because their children don't go out on the battlefield. Their children go to these different colleges, these different universities. All right, it's just the ones that they deem to be expendable that they put out on the battlefield. But this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8, and says, then shall that wicked be revealed. And like I said, Esau Edom, and he is the wicked, and he's been revealed. The master's been taken off of him, and we're seeing his wicked ways and the things that he has intentions of with these inventions, these different inventions he's put out. It says, and it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And I'm going to read that verse 9 in the NLT. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. And that's what Pharaoh did when he came and called his magicians to throw their staffs down and turn their staffs into serpents. You know, he brought about his counterfeit powers and his counterfeit miracles. All right, because the Lord is the only one who can perform miracles. All right, anything else is just out of wickedness, out of conjuring. All right, coming from the left side. So just going to let a little bit more of this play, and I maybe have one more verse I want to bring out, and that'll be the end.
Think the bears would save us?
狗屁被机器都横放挑衅，一升一高，直接就杠起来了。把狗屁吓得骂骂咧咧来，气恼了，当场把机器狗掀翻。
The scene began when humans introduced.
See, that bear just went on ahead and took him down, so they know they got to go right back to the drawing board and go back in there and invent something else, because there's certain animals that ain't gonna be intimidated by it. So he just took him on down. All right, and it's just like what's eventually is going to happen to the wicked. It's going to happen to the Esau Edom. All right, he's going to be taken down because the Lord gives them the ability to be able to bring out these different inventions. All right, and like I said, when they think that they're going to be able to overtake the Lord with these inventions, that's when he's going to be turned right back on their own head, and it's going to be their own undoing. It's going to destroy them. This is the last verse that I'm going to bring out. Isaiah chapter 54. Because not only are they inventing these different robots, but they have these different missiles that they are bringing out. All right, and all that takes is one nuclear warhead being put on one of them being released, and that's going to be the beginning of their doom. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals on the fire." And this is the Lord saying that he's created this smith, and the smith being the scientist that he is given the ability to be able to bring out these or invent these different weapons and these different missiles. It says, "And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work." His work being that he's going to bring about their destruction through these inventions that they bring out, that they invent, that they put in the air. All right, it's going to be their own undoing. It says, "And I have created the waster to destroy." The waster being that ICBM missile. It's gonna destroy this. See, as soon as they go ahead and put one of those nuclear warheads on one of these missiles and launch it, everybody's going to release them, because these things are being made, and all country, just a lot of countries have these things, and they're stockpiling them. All right, and they're not just for show. These are going to be used. These are instruments that the Lord is going to put it on them to use and to unleash, and it's going to be their own undoing. Verse 17 says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh." All right. So eventually these things are going to be their own undoing. As soon as they try to turn and use these against the Lord in the day of the Lord, it's going to be their own undoing. All right. But I'm going to leave it there. And I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.